try. Hot mic. Yeah. Is she going through your eval right now? Yeah. Oh.
We're all part of it.
You all right?
Good job, Logan. We approve you.
I like how you have her. She really is. She types it for me.
Right. Cool.
Good to know, though. Yeah, I do that.
And like you
Duly
didn't
noted.
really say it that way, but
30 live, so. I got 30. Watching.
Oh, sweet. Thank you, buddy. Yep. Really? Hey. We have 30 online already. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
See if you can break that one. Fantastic, you?
Fantabulous.
Yeah? You want to get on? I got a hot mic.
Oh, you can turn it on.
No, it doesn't mute.
It doesn't turn on.
No. I need a tech guy like you. See you, buddy. All right, it's 6 o'clock on my watch. We'll get started. Ooh, I got to stop walking in front. Good evening. My name is Kit Lidke. I'm the building principal here at River Falls High School. Just a show of hands, parents and students, how many of you, this is your oldest kiddo coming into the high school, just so I have a reference? Great. And then the other of you have already a student here or had a student that graduated. It's really nice to see you all here in person. We have about 40 to 50 online as well. Again, I want to go through this real quickly, but I also want to make sure that we give you enough time for questions. We've got a great team that'll help you with questions after our presentation today as well. I want to talk about our partnership. I start with this because it is a partnership. It's a partnership between our administrative team, our teachers, your students, you as parents. We're all on the same page to ensure your child's success. And that's really important for us to get off on that start right away. It's a really fundamental tenet of what we do here at River Falls High School. We'll share with you what our mission is. It might be different than what you might think high school looks like. We'll talk about registration and what that looks like for you and your child and student coming into the next week and what that looks forward to for us in the fall. We'll talk about all the wonderful opportunities that we have here at River Falls High School within our community, whether it's work, military, secondary college, post-secondary, etc. And then we'll also talk about the role of a parent and how we can help partner with you to ensure your child's success. I just want to do a quick introduction of some of our student services team members in front here. So if they could all just please stand real quick. I have Cal Johnson representing one of our school counselors, Whitney Sutton, Terrell Gretz, who's one of our assistant principals, Logan Moe, and Tracy Klein. That's our student services team. They will help you with any question both this evening. There are your partners also from a social emotional standpoint, from an academic standpoint. We talk about how we have wraparound services here at River Falls High School. They're an excellent team. The rest of our team is in the college and career readiness college fair tonight, and I know you're sitting here as freshman parents thinking, man, I don't think I need to go in there. You need to go in there. You need to see what some of the end results might be. It's good to go and dream big. It's great to go and talk to college admissions officers, find out what they're looking for, because the one thing they'll tell you is it's not just about grades. And we'll talk about that. It's not just about the classes and or the grades. It's about the whole student. And we talk about that often here at River Falls High School. Our mission is at the top. It says River Falls High School is a community of care that serves students to be their personal best. I want to talk about that real quick. We talk about serving students each and every day. We're in a service industry as educators. We're here to serve you in the community and your student primarily. We talk about a community of care, meaning that we want to have a safe and welcoming environment at all times. If there's not that occurring, or if there's a concern that you have, you need to let us know, and we are happy to help you with that. We know that if we have a safe and healthy environment where kids are supported, we're going to have great amounts of success in whatever they want to do. Also, we're an inclusive community that focuses on 4 foundational pillars. Those are academic growth, social emotional growth, moral and performance character, and to be college and career ready. It's okay at 14 or 13 to not know where you're at. I'm 46. I still don't know what I want to do in life, to be honest with you. But I love what I do right now, and I want to make sure, again, that everything that you do is a path of lifelong learning, and we'll talk about some of those areas a little bit more. I also have my cell phone on here, and I do that because, again, I really mean it when I say it. If you have a concern, call me. I've now given that out to probably 4,000 people, and you'd be surprised the phone calls I get, but I'm always willing to help. Learning the basics at River Falls High School. This presentation is both on YouTube and on our website. The ACP tutorial guide video on the left is a great resource for you to show you all the ins and outs of the academic and career planning guide that you have. And then again, you can click this slide at a later date also for a digital version if your 8th grader already lost the nice academic and career planning guide that we gave them. The guide essentially is divided into 3 parts. We talk about our overall high school programming and all the information that we have. Again, there is so many opportunities for students to have here, whether it's just in the classroom or all the things outside the classroom. Our philosophy here at River Falls High School is that students learn an academic side of things, but there are so many other things that students develop character in and develop a sense of purpose outside of that classroom, and that's very important to us. We'll talk about career clusters and pathways. It's never too early to start thinking about what things you want to do after high school. Again, the state of Wisconsin has an academic and career readiness program that helps divide things up into 16 career clusters. It's said that most of those jobs will fit into one of those different sectors, and we've put that in our course planning guide to show you which classes align to that. Now again, I want to make it really clear, you do not need to be determining your path from day one. This is all about exploration, not about declaration. The more we know what we don't like, the better. The more we find out what we're not good at or need to improve in, the better. But also we need to find out what we're passionate about and support our students in that. And then lastly, we'll talk about our loudest system and course information. This is a list of course explanations. So if you've looked at the college and career guide itself, the course listings are very clear in the back of the book. I just want to go through just real quickly a few of the things for freshmen. Make sure that you have the right course number when you're registering for those particular classes. Make sure that you know it is for an appropriate grade level, and also know that if there is any prerequisites. Prerequisites, again, would be classes needed to take prior to taking a particular class. The nice thing about what we offer here is that we offer 165 different classes for your child to choose at one or more parts in their academic career. And again, for a school that has about 1,100 students, that's a great number of classes. We want your child, again, to experience whatever it is that they want to be great at. And again, find out by learning by doing. This is our block schedule. How many of you are familiar with our block schedule, or how many of you need really some in-depth explanation? We'll give you a little bit of both. We run a block schedule which essentially says every 9 weeks our students earn 0.5 credit or a half a credit. So some of you might have had a high school where you had an 8-period day. How many of you remember a nice 8-period day? So you had classes that shifted about every semester. Some of our half-credit classes shift at every 9 weeks. So some of the things that you'll have to get used to a little bit as freshmen is pacing. Pacing is a little bit different. Instead of taking 8 classes, you'll be taking 4. Instead of being in classes for roughly 45 minutes, you'll be in classes for 85 minutes. Okay? It gives us a benefit in that we get more in-depth. We get to know our students really well within that content area. But that pacing moves very quickly too. So as freshmen coming in, we want to make sure that you know and understand that pacing is a bit different. It's similar to Meyer Middle School's kind of double blocks where you have 2 blocks of math or different subject areas. One thing that I want to highlight in here in yellow is what's called WIN. There was a misconception last year when we made our name change that WIN was an academic intervention that was for kids who needed it for academic purposes. WIN is our homeroom. So WIN stands for what I need. We use that in a multitude of ways here at River Falls High School. On Mondays, we deliver academic and career planning lessons, social emotional lessons to build students' confidence and know more about themselves. And then on Tuesdays through Thursdays, students use it more or less as a guided study hall, a place where they can make up labs, make up tests and exams, and other things. On Fridays is where we have our clubs and activities meetings. So students who are involved in any clubs and activities have a chance to meet as a group during that particular time. So it serves students in a variety of different areas, but again, when you get your child registered in WIN, it is not saying that there's a deficiency in academics, and I think that was just a confusion. I'm going to go through 2 different types of mock schedules or model schedules for you. This is a first-year freshman schedule that's in a traditional block format. So you can see the student, So you can see the student is going to have English 9, Broadfield Science, algebra would be their math course. We have civics and geography as the 2 social science classes. And then you have health and PE over here. Those are the required courses to take as an incoming freshman. The choice that you have then is either foreign languages or other electives through other 5 or 6 different blocks that we have. So when your child gets the registration sheet, the course numbers are already picked for you for those core area classes so that they don't have to worry about that. You'll still need to register for that in Infinite Campus, but your choice and voice comes from the other areas in that. Again, students in this case are taking a year worth of English in a semester. I want to make that really clear again. So they're getting English for 18 weeks because it's 85 minutes a day instead of having English all year. So far, so good. I'm seeing some head nods. Everybody's okay with that. This is what's called an AB block schedule or a modified block schedule. There are two options based on student selections. In this case, a lot of our students that are in band or choir, which is a fair number, sometimes will be in an AB schedule. They always will be in an AB schedule. Other times it will be because of a student's choice. It could be because of a math class that they choose. It could be that we just have classes that will fit into that. So I want to walk through that real quickly. In this case, I'll use myself as an example. Your wonderful building principal who's standing on the stage got a D in geometry. I didn't say B, I said D in geometry. Didn't pay attention very much in that one. In geometry here, I struggled with math. So if I know that I'm struggling in math, instead of me coming back and taking math in 18 weeks, right, and then having a very big gap in my freshman year, and then trying to come back in my sophomore year, which could be second semester, I wouldn't have math for over a year and a half. For somebody who struggles with math already, that's not a good pattern, okay? So what we do is we personalize it for the student based on those selections. So in this case, if I was struggling in math, I would have math every other day all year. I know that sounds painful for a kid who struggles with math, but it is by far better than to just take math for 18 weeks, leave it sit for a year to a year and a half, and then come back to math. Okay? So sometimes students will take more than 1 year of math. That's called doubling up. We need to make this really clear. We only want you essentially to double up in math if you know where your end result is. And we'll talk about that in a slide or two related to mathematics. Okay? So in this case, this student has English 9, marching band, concert band. On these two, it's just similar to Meyer Middle School's day 1 and day 2, and then Spanish. So far, so good on that. All right. We're going to move through just the requirements. We've talked about that already. That's found in our course planning guide. One thing to keep in mind is the number of credits for graduation. We've made a reduction in that. Part of our reduction is for social, emotional health, and learning of students. We're trying to build some flex time in for students for a little more choice and voice. Kids these days are far too much under a lot of pressure already as it is, and we're trying to, again, grow and adapt as an organization. This is the math concept that I was talking about. Based on your middle school teacher recommendation of where your student currently is at, you typically will have a start between pre-algebra and roughly geometry for most students, sometimes algebra 2 as well for a particular student, and then the students will begin on that math sequence course. You can see, again, the advantages to a block schedule. We are offering 9 years of math in 4 years if the students so choose. Now, again, I want to make that really clear. Your kid does not need to take 9 years of math, okay? Don't feel like you all have to be here. What I want you to think about is what careers you're interested in, what opportunities after high school you're looking at. Again, begin with the end in mind. So if you're saying, I really would like to end at AP Statistics or Pre-Calc or Calc, and you know you're starting here, try to pace that math out over 4 years. If you get it all done, again, this is me talking, your building principal, I finished my math as quickly as I could. It was the end of my junior year. Actually, it was the first semester of my junior year. Didn't take any math, went off to college. How'd I do in math? Not so good. I got a D in statistics, and I had to retake that. I'm totally open book here. You can go ahead and look it up at UW La Crosse, okay? So I got a D in elementary statistics, had to retake it. I got an A the second time. I actually tried. So I'm just being honest again with you. But again, I want students to understand that, again, don't try to shoot for everything over here unless you know what you're really going for. Most of our kids take 4 years of math and they end in these areas over here. Not every kid is all the way over here, okay? So if you start knowing where you're beginning and your end in mind, you'll know what year you might want to take 2 maths. You might know which year you want to take 1 math and stretch it out. It's not a race. It's about choosing your pace. Your transcript. This is where it counts, is the best way for me to say it, to be blunt. Any course you take shows up on your transcript. All the universities in there are going to be looking at transcripts. Grades are one facet of measuring a person. It's measuring effort, it's measuring knowledge and skills. It could be a variety of different things. But it's only one facet of you. It's not all of you. Again, I'm your building principal who just told you we had 2 Ds in front of how many people? It's okay. I'm not saying you should get D's, but I'm saying you should try. And it's okay if you fail once in a while. The loudest system. The loudest system itself is how we recognize students at graduation. That's really all it is. So if you remember valedictorians when you were in high school, the loudest system is simply replacing that. What the loudest system does is it ranks our kids into 3 different organizations or academic honors. Each kid will get a different chord at graduation. All that recognition is doing, again, is allowing that student to choose their own race. The valedictorian way of doing things basically had it where all kids were based on a GPA. Well, when you base it only on a GPA and nothing else, some kids took a more rigorous schedule than others. The loudest system takes that into consideration. The classes that are listed in your course planning guide are what we call weighted courses towards the loudest system. If you take more rigorous or capstone courses, you can use that and multiply your GPA and you'll get a certain number of points. What this then does is also eliminate competition amongst classmates. There's no more rank anymore if you're unaware of that. Most high schools have dropped class rank nationwide. Most colleges don't even accept class rank anymore. Again, because we're trying to get rid of that level of that academic competition, and it's more about individual and personal growth. So again, the loudest system is not as complex as it needs to be. If you keep it simple, it's whether your kid is shooting for a chord or not at graduation. It's a GPA and a multiplier of which classes they decide to take or not take. This is that course request sheet. I know it's tiny, but you have it in your yellow folders if your child brought it home. The course request sheet, again, has the clear printed courses up above that all freshmen need to take, and then you have these elective options. Well, the reason we put this in here is for the alternate course requests. We want you to make sure that you tell us what other classes, if you don't get these, which other ones would you be willing to take? We develop a master schedule that has 23,000 possible opportunities for 1,100 kids, and I can't make everybody happy. But I do it to about a 91% rate. So if you call me and you're one of the 9%, I'm sorry. I will do the best I can to fix it. But again, know that the majority of our schedules are filled nearly perfectly. Wildcat opportunities. I want to talk about just a few things that come up as high school. You grow through high school, but you need to know them up front. There are so many great things living in River Falls that other school districts do not have. You have a 4-year institution in your backyard. You have a 2-year technical college 3 blocks away. Those 2 partnerships that we have with universities allow our students, at some cases, to graduate between 12 and 18 credits of college credit before they cross the stage for graduation. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for you. That's a big deal for mom and dad's pocketbook. That's a really good advantage. I also want to make it really clear, it is not about accumulation of college credits exclusively. Make sure your child has balance. Far too often we push too far, and we find that kids struggle with that in their junior and senior years with the amount of academic pressures or other pressures that they're under. So be patient with it and allow it to come to you where your students show great amounts of growth or great amounts of passion. So again, Chippewa Valley Technical College, we offer in our course planning guide at least 12 different classes that are CVTC transcripted credit. We also offer dual credit academies with UWRF, meaning that some of the classes we offer, like calculus, speech, and others, are UW system credit, and we make sure that they transfer to Madison and other universities as well. So that's a huge advantage for you being a River Falls High School student. A couple other things. You are going to be our largest graduating class in the history of River Falls as freshmen coming in. You're coming in at nearly over 300. We'll anticipate that that'll be closer to 320, maybe even 330 with the growth that we're seeing in our community. So you will be the largest class coming through. That's a good thing, but that's also a thing that we want to be mindful of when we talk openly about making sure we take care of each other. As we get larger, we still need to take care of each other, and we will continue to talk that through as with your students and you as families. Wildcat opportunities. These are our athletic opportunities. Again, this is all linked. You can go up to the riverfallswildcat.org. You can jump onto the activities Instagram page. We offer every WIA sport that they have other than lacrosse that I'm aware of. And again, we have loads of opportunities for you. So if you're interested in that, we want you to continue to participate in those. We have about an 80 to 85% participation rate in either athletics or clubs and activities with our student body. That's very important to us. We want it to be 100%. And the reason being is we know when kids are engaged and plugged in school, their likelihood of success is that much more. Here's all the opportunities we have for clubs and organizations. And we have more that are not on the list. We have a paintball group that's hoping to still start up, thanks to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Moe and Mr. Johnson are fighting over who's going to be the advisor of it, and that's kind of an inside joke. But we have a vegan food club now. We have our Gender Sexuality Alliance, Costume Carolers, Chess Club, you name it, we have it. If we don't have it, we already told your kids, if you can find somebody that wants to advise it, we'll figure it out. If you get enough of a collection of kids to do that, we want you to have that. And again, this has expanded in the last 5 to 7 years from maybe 12 to 15 to well over 30 plus. So whatever you got to find a niche here. We got to find a place for you to feel happy, to expand and build confidence in that. So if you have questions on any of these as well, we're happy to help you. Transitioning to 9th grade, just talking about this is the first step. This is our first step in our partnership and marriage, is the way I refer to this as. We're in a marriage now for 4 years to help your child be as successful as possible. So tonight's that first opening date, that first date. In August, we'll again bring an open house in where you'll be able to get your master schedule, walk through, check your lockers, meet teachers, all of those different things. It's about what you decide to make this in terms of your own personal partnership as a student and family. We want to be engaged with you. We encourage for you to reach out to us. And again, our freshman and new student orientation in August will have all of those things ready to go for you. When you leave this auditorium, if you walk straight into our commons, we'll have department reps there too. So if you have your course planning guide or you have a digital version of it, you can ask any of our department reps about classes, about opportunities, and all the great events that we have. Maintaining perspective. I cannot stress this enough. High school is much different than when I was in high school. High school is much different than you were in high school. This is the last opportunity for your child to be a kid. I'm going to say that again because it's got to ring with you right now. This is the last chance your child has an opportunity to be a kid. And 4 years go by like that. I have a senior this year that I felt like was just in this auditorium. It flies by. So take advantage of every opportunity you can, but be careful not to push. I want to say that again too, so moms and dads and students hear it. Be careful not to push yourself too far because you feel like you got to run a race for somebody else. It's your race. You have to maintain perspective on what you want out of these things. Find balance with your family. Find balance with your friends. Stay engaged. Again, those pressures are there more now than ever. Any way we can find open communication with you or with your teen, we're in this together for you. Role of a Wildcat parent. I only have really, two big things. Know your kid. And I've been in this building, thankfully, for 21 years. I see kids change. Stay in touch with your kids. Social media, whatever it means, technology, those different types of things. Know who your kid is hanging out with online. Know who they're hanging out with in person. Be mindful of your technology. It's a big thing. I think we're going to look back at technology at this decade in our age, just like we did with cigarette smoking and the damage that it was doing. We just don't know it yet. Does that make sense? I see a lot of parents head nodding, right? Let's be mindful of that. Let's talk that through. Know where your kids are at. When I first became an assistant principal 15 years ago, social media was not as big of an issue as it is today. Our assistant principals are doing conflict resolution for things that are not even occurring in the building, but outside of the building that impact the building and impact the student in the building. Does that make sense? Before, it used to be conflict resolution between kids who talk to each other. They don't even talk to each other anymore. They don't even know how to resolve conflict. So whenever we get into those spots, we're talking about teachable moments in how to resolve conflict. Resolving conflict online is much different than resolving conflict in person when you're harming somebody's feelings. And so we will help partner with that if that comes up and occurs. We have a huge newsletter that goes out every week, one from our main office, and then the other week it's from our student services office. All of the resources you will ever need are in those newsletters. But you can guess what our readership is in breaking through the email clutter that you all get already. I promise you all the answers are found in there. You just need to look into it a little bit. Follow us on social media, Twitter, textbook, Facebook, you name it, we're all on it. And get involved in any level. I'm going to say this for our new AD, David Crail. If you want to ref, boy, you can make some money reffing these days. Anybody want to be a ref? Anybody want to be a spectator looking at a ref? How's that work lately? But we need refs. We need coaches. We need advisors. Get involved in booster clubs. Get involved in anything in a way, shape, or form that you can with your student here. Again, because it's 4 short years, and they will fly by. Again, this is our contact info. That's it for my presentation. I want to, again, open it up for quick questions and dialogue if you want. We'll do that just for a couple minutes, so if you've got a question, you can raise your hand, ask it out loud, I'll call on you, and then we'll, if we've got other questions, you can come down individually. Any questions for anyone? Silence. Yes? Yes, so they have the same WIN teacher or homeroom teacher all 4 years. That's an important part of what we do and why we do things. The reason being is they are acting almost like an academic advisor in addition to building a relationship with those particular students. So it does not change unless we lose a teacher or a teacher retires.
You have quite a few WIN teachers here right now. Do you want to just have them raise their hand? Next year, when
I don't know if we have it that many. We can? 2? We have some teachers, WIN teachers. The next year's freshman WIN teachers. Anyone? A couple of them. Mr. Jekyll. 1, 2, 2. Other questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes. So in that AB schedule, students would take concert band and concert choir, and that works all year for them every other day. Great question. Other things? Yeah. Yes, so that's a good question. If you get to school early, where do you go? What can you do? You get to go anywhere, honestly. So again, part of what we're trying to develop here is a closed campus where students are able to work independently. Remember, we're transitioning kids from adolescence to adulthood. If we just had a cell phone ban, it'd be nice, I'm not going to lie to you, but they wouldn't understand where and when to use them. It's our job to show kids when and where to use them, instructional time versus non-instructional time. It's a pain in our rear end, I'm going to be honest with you, but it's our job to do that. So kids here, I would suggest also, if you go to the end of the Commons, you'll see Wiley's Common Grounds is open tonight. Go up and visit our coffee shop. We're trying to get it where kids can go to the coffee shop just like Starbucks, work on homework. While they don't have a class, right, they're working on a 3-class load or a 4-class load. That's the type of environment we're trying to get here at River Falls High School for students to gain independence and gain confidence in that and make good, responsible choices. Other questions? One in the back. Foreign language is not a requirement for graduation. It never, since I've been here, is a requirement for graduation, but foreign language is very important if you're looking at post-secondary opportunities. One of the things you'll want to look into, whether it's a 2-year or 4-year college, is what levels of foreign language they're looking for. In most cases, it's a minimum of 2. In some other schools, it's actually looking for 3 or 4. So depending, again, when you go down to our college fair tonight, ask those good questions to those admissions officers and they'll help you out. Again, it's about balance. You can't do it all in the 16 classes you have each year, so you're going to have to make some gives and takes and choices in that. But foreign language, again, if you're looking at post-secondary and 4-year colleges especially, is something you want to make sure that you keep in mind. Anything else? Otherwise, we're going to be available down here. The department leaders and chairs will be out there at the department tables, and then you can jump into the mayhem of 70 colleges and see where your kid wants to go. Are we all like shell-shocked when I just said that? Are we okay? Hopefully you saved up some money. All right, have a great night. Thank you very much.
In the bathroom, front, the band. There, yeah. Oh! What happened?
mute never worked. The mute never worked on. Hey, okay, that'll work.